serving on an IHSA advisory committee. Welcome to an IHSA advisory committee. Your appointment to an IHSA advisory committee is an honor, and your selection is an indication of a high level of respect for your contribution to the sport or activity you were chosen to represent. This presentation is designed to give new committee members an overview of IHSA advisory committees and the processes and procedures committees follow in accomplishing their work. IHSA advisory committees are composed of a cross-section of individuals involved with IHSA sports and activities. Each committee member represents one of the 7 IHSA board divisions. By having one committee member from each board division, it assures that all areas of the state are represented on each advisory committee. Most advisory committees meet once a year, although the pandemic has shown IHSA staff that groups can meet virtually more often if necessary. The IHSA staff member who works with each advisory committee will set meeting dates for each group. Currently, the IHSA has 35 standing advisory committees. There is an advisory committee for each sport and activity that IHSA conducts a state series in, along with a handful of other committees that address other programs or areas of interest for the association. In addition to the 27 sport and activity advisory committees, you can see a list on this slide of the other active committees. All committees serve an important role in bringing about necessary change to IHSA programs, and you can review each committee and their recent work by accessing a specific committee's webpage at www.ihsa.org. To find the page you see here on this slide, go to www.ihsa.org and hover over the About the IHSA heading at the top of the page and select Advisory Committees from the drop-down menu. The main purpose of all IHSA advisory committees is to provide the IHSA with statewide expertise in the formation and evaluation of programs. Advisory committees make recommendations to the IHSA Board of Directors for improvements via the terms and conditions for each sport, activity, or program. In making those terms and conditions recommendations, advisory committees represent the current thinking and outlook of each IHSA division or region. Occasionally, committees suggest rule changes that are presented to the National Federation of State High School Associations, and as necessary, committee members sometimes assist with the conduct of the state finals tournament. As previously mentioned, committees are structured to ensure that all 7 IHSA board divisions are represented on each advisory committee, assuming a sport or activity has statewide participation. Individuals from both small and large schools are appointed, and each appointee must be approved by the local high school principal. Term lengths for committee members are 3 years, and committees are structured so that each appointment is staggered, which allows for committee continuity. Biggest contribution advisory committees make are suggested changes to the terms and conditions for sports and activities. Let's discuss how that change occurs. Any IHSA member school can propose a change to the terms and conditions for any sport or activity. An online form can be accessed through the school center, and once a proposal is approved by the school principal, it will become a part of the committee's agenda for that particular meeting. Member schools can contact IHSA staff for help in preparing proposals or navigating the online portal. The IHSA staff member who works with a specific advisory committee will draft an agenda for a committee meeting using proposals that are submitted by member schools. The next slide shows what that proposal portal looks like. Any coach or school administrator who wishes to make a proposal will need to first log into the school center to access their home screen. Once on the home screen, select the link at the bottom of the page in the left-hand column as you see here. After clicking the circled link that says Suggest Changes to Terms and Conditions, a person will be taken to the online form that you see on the right-hand side of this slide. A submitter needs to simply fill in all the fields shown here, and once complete, the proposal will be sent via email to his/her/their school's administration for a first-level approval. After school administration approves the proposal, a copy of this will then be sent to the appropriate IHSA staff member. Approximately 7 to 10 days before the committee meets, the IHSA staff member who works with the committee will prepare a final agenda for the meeting and distribute that agenda and other meeting materials to all committee members for their review and meeting preparation. Generally speaking, Robert's Rules of Order will be used to conduct the advisory committee meeting. At the committee meeting then, the committee will discuss the items on the agenda, and there must be a motion and a second to any recommendation prior to the committee taking a vote on the motion. A recommendation that receives a majority of those present and voting is considered passed and will ultimately be considered and voted on by the IHSA Board of Directors. After the meeting has ended, IHSA staff will prepare minutes that will be shared with the committee before being posted on the IHSA website. Typically, meeting minutes will be posted within a few days of an advisory committee meeting so that individuals and member schools can follow the activity of a committee. The IHSA Board of Directors reviews the recommendations from all advisory committees 3 times a year, in October, February, and June. The IHSA Athletic Administrators Advisory Committee and the IHSA staff also review all the recommendations from various committees before the IHSA Board of Directors acts on those. This helps the board have a well-rounded perspective on each recommendation. Individual schools can also reach out to IHSA board members before they take final action on any recommendation after reviewing the minutes from a particular advisory committee meeting. All recommendations approved by the IHSA Board of Directors will be implemented for the next state series and included in the terms and conditions for that sport or activity. The board's action will then be noted in each of the sport or activity advisory committee minutes posted on the IHSA website. Serving on an IHSA advisory committee is intended to be an enjoyable experience. IHSA staff is committed to helping you feel successful in your role, so please reach out to staff as necessary anytime you have questions. Committee members are reimbursed for mileage and tolls when they drive their personal vehicles. Other expenses, such as meals, will be reimbursed by the association, provided an itemized receipt is turned in. Additional expenses, like lodging, are only covered when approved in advance by IHSA staff, but meetings are scheduled so that committee members are able to travel to and from Bloomington in one day so as to minimize too much time missed at home or school. Thanks again for your service to all IHSA member schools. We appreciate your commitment to students in Illinois.